Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about this product that came in our October BoxyCharm subscription, and this is the Becca Pressed Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Prosecco Pop. This is the first Becca product I have ever tried, I have ever owned, so I was excited to take this opportunity to learn a little bit more about the company and about this product. So I'm going to share with you what I've learned about this company and what I've learned about this product. I'm then going to show my application of this because I don't have anything shiny on my face yet and I want to shine this look up a little bit. And then I'm going to do some swatches of this against other highlighters that I have just to see if we can find any dupes, look at the tones of it compared to others, and then give you my thoughts about this at the end. For all of this, I'm going to put timestamps down below so that you can skip forward to any part of the video that you wish. Let's start talking about a few things about Becca. Is that a proper sentence? Moving on. Becca was founded by a Becca, Rebecca Morris Williams, and it was founded in 2001 after many years of research and development. This was a brand that was born in Australia, which I did not know. There's a lot that I didn't know, so I'm just not going to point out the stuff I didn't know. Let's just assume I knew none of this going into it. And Becca was actually an indie brand for many, many years until it was bought out, I believe, last year by Estee Lauder, and it was estimated that it sold for $200 million, I believe, some huge amount of money. Now, one of the things to note when a indie brand is then bought by a large company, especially Estee Lauder, not especially, but I feel like I've heard this more from Estee Lauder. Becca has been, and I believe still is, currently a cruelty-free brand. When they were indie, they did not sell to China, and usually a brand will not be cruelty-free because if you choose to sell your product in China, they require that you do animal testing. So for the first part of Becca's life as a brand, cruelty-free, did not sell in China. What you'll find is a lot of brands, when they are bought by these larger companies, and Estee Lauder is one of them, they do want the brand to be sold in China because it's a huge market there, and oftentimes brands will no longer be cruelty-free. This is also what you see in MAC and a few others. To be fair, on their website, it currently says that Becca is and will remain a cruelty-free company. We do not test our products on animals, and we will continue to hold true to this principle. So it seems like they're sticking with being cruelty-free, but this may change if you're owned by another company. Just putting that out there. Another interesting thing about Becca is that they really do focus on diversity. So when you look at the shade ranges of their complexion products, there's a wide shade range, and they do this purposefully. I saw one statistic that said they have at least or around 20 shades in their complexion products, and they make sure that 10 are light to medium and 10 are medium to deep. They also have a statistic that I saw, and I'm going to put the links down below to the articles that I read because I do want to make sure I'm sourcing this as I am pulling it out of a number of articles, that Becca's customer base is 55% non-Caucasian. So if you're looking for a product line that has a good shade range to it, Becca may be a good place to start. Becca stays very true to their packaging. Although they are kind of known for their shimmers and glosses and highlighters, their packaging always stays true to this. I think except for a couple of the Jaclyn Hill collabs, and I'm going to get into their collabs in a moment. You're always going to have this very nice dark matte gray and then this sort of chromed metal on top. It's just very understated, and I think it gives the brand a level of sophistication that I personally really enjoy. So let's talk about collaborations, because for many of us who watch beauty channels on YouTube, this may be where we first found out about Becca, was because of the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop collaboration. And Becca has had a number of collaborations. They've done a couple of them with Jaclyn Hill, and there was some controversy. And their most recent one has been with Chrissy Teigen, that there have been, I think, some face palettes that have been done in collaboration there. But the Champagne Pop collaboration with Jaclyn Hill was probably the most famous one. And I actually saw some statistics here about this, so if you ever wonder why brands collaborate with beauty YouTubers and beauty gurus, this is interesting to note. So in 2015, YouTube vlogger Jaclyn Hill used Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in her video, and immediately sales of that product tripled. This wasn't even her collaboration, this was just her using it and liking it in a video, that in 1 week to be exact, the sales tripled. So they thought, let's take this further. They did a collaboration together, that was Champagne Pop, and they sold 25,000 units in the first 20 minutes of it being on sale. So beauty personalities, beauty YouTubers, they are quite a income generator. They just have huge audiences, and you're going to get these collaborations because you just have this built-in audience of people who are ready to get it. Champagne Pop has remained one of their staple highlighters. It's not a limited edition, and this Prosecco Pop is also a Jaclyn Hill collaboration, but this is where we start getting a little murkier. And I'm not pretending I have all of the info about this, but from what I understand, after Champagne Pop was so popular, Becca and Jaclyn Hill did another collaboration where it was more of a face palette, and there were 2 highlighters in there, I think a blush and a couple other things, and that's when there was Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop. Those were the 2 in there, and I think that collaboration all went really well. And then there was a collaboration that they did on an eyeshadow palette, and Becca isn't really known for, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, for eyeshadows and lip products. I actually went into their website to look at what are their lip and eye products, because you never hear them talked about, and they don't have a big range of eyeshadows. They really focus, in my opinion, on sort of primers, complexion products, highlighters. It's that. You never see sort of Becca eyeliners or mascaras or eyeshadows. So they put together this eyeshadow palette, and there was controversy because some of them seemed to be really good, and then other customers were buying them and they were chunky and unblendable and didn't have a lot of pigment to it, and people noticed that the ingredients in it were sort of much cheaper ingredients than the usual Becca ingredients, and it seemed like there was a little bit of back and forth where Jaclyn was sort of blaming Becca. Becca, it seemed to me, sort of took the high road. They pulled the product, but there was a little bit of back and forth there, and it's probably because both are trying to protect their brand, and Jaclyn was trying to, it seemed like, put a little bit more of the onus for this onto Becca, and sort of let people know that she had no idea about this. So there was a little bit of snarkiness back and forth there. And then the other little bit of drama that happened is, I believe, when this Prosecco Pop came out as an individual highlight product outside of the Jaclyn Hill collab face palette, somebody on Twitter said, oh wow, Prosecco Pop is coming out as a individual product. And Jaclyn Hill tweeted and said, wow, really? I had no idea about this, and said, like, at Becca Cosmetics. So it sort of seemed like the communication there broke down a little bit. Anyway, I have seen since then that Jaclyn has been to sort of Becca promotional events, so it seems like everything's been sorted out, but it is sort of a little interesting journey to show the power of collaborations and also what can happen when a collaboration maybe goes a little bit wrong. The last thing that I will say in this whole collaboration beauty YouTuber area, and I could be wrong about this, I don't see Becca as one of the throwing money at beauty YouTubers kind of companies. When I watch unboxings, because I do enjoy doing that, I don't see huge, you know, Becca things in the same way that like Tarte and Too Faced tends to do these big elaborate boxings to send to beauty YouTubers. I don't think they have the brand trips quite as much in the same like really splashy sort of way. And to me that makes Becca seem a little bit more understated and classy. That's sort of what I think about this brand in general, is classy. And they do talk about their brand view being things that are there to enhance your beauty in a classic way instead of chasing trends. Things that are going to be complementary, things that are going to look good rather than being on trend. So I do see it as sort of a classier kind of brand. That is a lot about Becca, but that's just because I hadn't ever really looked into them before, and I found it sort of fascinating, and I hope that you do too. Let's get into talking about this product now, because that's probably what you're here for, and hello to everybody who may have skipped past all that last part to get to the part about the product. This product is one of their Shimmering Skin Perfector pressed powders, pressed highlighter I should say. There are 10 shades of this. So it goes from everything from a very, very white shade through these sort of champagne yellow shades, and they even have some that are sort of purple, opalescent toned. So there is a huge range of these pressed highlighters. This is in the US going to set you back $38. They also, in some of the shades, have minis, which in the US is going to set you back $15. Here in Canada, this little beauty is going to set you back $46, which means it was pretty awesome to get this in a BoxyCharm. So it is a pricey little highlight. It describes this as a creamy highlighter. It talks about being inspired by the dazzling light of the midday sun. It says it's enriched with ultra-fine luminescent pearls that absorb, reflect, and refract light to amplify your natural radiance. The multi-tone pigment pearls adjust to your skin's natural undertones. Unlike traditional pressed powders, this unique formula blends pigments with liquids to create an unparalleled creamy finish that applies seamlessly for a silky finish that never cakes, a high shine, elegant finish that isn't glittery. This shade right here is described as a true ethereal gold that flatters medium to deep skin tones, perfect for anyone who wants a flash of golden radiance, whereas Champagne Pop, its sister, is described as a best-selling shade that's a soft gold with peachy pink undertones. So interestingly, I should not be the target market for this. I should be more of a Champagne Pop side of it. But I don't find that. I actually do enjoy this quite a bit. In this, you do get almost 1/3 of an ounce of product. It is made in the USA. The main ingredient is mica, and I think that's everything I want to say, so let's get into putting this on my face. So I got you zoomed in a little bit so we can play with this together, and you can see it is a lovely gold color. And it does say that it's for medium to deep skin tones. I didn't know that as I've been playing with this over the last week. I didn't find that, but let's get into applying this to my face in all kinds of places for me to be extra shiny. For all of this, I'm going to use my little Crown fan brush. And this is such a nice, soft highlight that you just need to sort of tap it in there and wiggle it around a little bit to pick up enough to use. And let's start with the high points of my cheekbones. So I do find a lot of highlighters talk about not emphasizing texture. I have a lot of texture right here. I have some little pits from acne scarring when I was younger. I have a few, I think they're like keratin bumps, where you get sort of, it almost looks like little white bumps under your skin. And I do find that this does not highlight any of those. I'm putting on a little bit more than I would in my day-to-day life to just give a bit of extra shine. But I don't find this to be too dark for my skin tone at all. I'm actually just gonna bring this up over here. And I find it just really gives this beautiful, shiny, not glittery, not texture emphasizing highlight. And this may be, and I think is, my new favorite highlight. It's not so over the top that I need to worry about it. I do find that with some of the Ofra ones is there's just no way that I could wear it for work because they're just too over the top. But for these, for this, you know, it's buildable, but it just gives just the right amount of shine and highlight for me. Let's do a little bit down here. I'm just putting it all over because it just does give this lovely glow and shine. It doesn't look like I've put shimmery glitter all over my face. What else am I gonna do? I'm gonna tap a little bit on my Cupid's bow. To give some shine there. And I'm also going to put a little bit on my eyes. I just have a little bit of a matte look going on today. So I'm going to put a little bit on my inner corners and just into the inner third of my eye as well. Now, it doesn't give you that crazy pop in the same way some other shimmers might, but I do think that it is just gorgeous. I'm going to insert some swatches here so you can see what this looks like in tone against other shades in my collection. So here we have the Becca product in Prosecco Pop, and you can see how gold that is. Next to it we have Ofra in Rodeo Drive, which is not quite as gold, a little more pink. Then we have the Artist Couture, and that is in Illuminati, and it's got quite a bit of micro shimmer in there. Next to it is the Pixie by Petra highlight that was in the Blush Duo, which doesn't show up a lot and is quite a bit chalkier. Next to that we have the Essence Pure Nude highlighter, and that one's quite a bit pinker. And then I also have the Physicians Formula Nude Shimmer Bricks. I tried to get a gold, but it runs a lot more pink in there. So you can see the tone of Prosecco Pop as compared to some other highlighters. So what do I think of this? I think it might have been kind of obvious from how I was speaking about it when I was applying it, is I think this is probably one of my favorite highlights that I have ever used. I would say this is pricey, so there feels like a little bit of extra justification needed, but let me talk a little bit about this. It is the first highlight that I have used where it really does feel like it doesn't emphasize the texture on my skin. And being somebody who does have textured skin, I often feel like when I put highlight, especially right there, that it emphasizes all the lumps and bumps. And I don't find that this does that. I feel that it is natural looking enough that you could use it in your day-to-day work life to just give your skin an extra lift, some extra light to make it look like you're more glowing from within. But at the same time, I do think that you can build it up to be that sort of blingy kind of highlight, which means that you get a couple of different kinds of ways of using this in one. I think it's gorgeous, and I think they have so many shades available that you can find one that works for you. My suggestion is, if you are a girl on a budget, and I think most of us probably are, that I would go into a Sephora, I would swatch this, and I would see if they had one of the minis available in your shade, because it is less than half the price. And let's all be honest here, who really hits pan on highlight? Like, I feel like I don't even dent the surface of the highlights that I have. So if you can pay half the price or something like that for half of the amount of product, but you still get this awesome product, I would look into seeing if you can do that. But overall, if you are somebody who isn't a makeup collector, you know, it isn't sort of what you spend your money on, but you want one nice highlight that will do a lot of different things for you, then I would invest my money in one of these Becca ones, because this is just beautiful. And like, just so much so that even a highlight color that is not really made for my skin, I think looks beautiful on my skin and quite natural. So I am just in love with this product. It's a big thumbs up from me. That is everything about Becca. This just makes me want to try out more. I would love to try. They have a like luminous liquid foundation that I am just now so curious to try. Their primers, just some of their other products. Now that I have used this and just fallen in love, it makes me want more from their brand, which is what they are doing with these in subscription boxes. So good on you, Becca, for making me want more from your brand. I would love to hear about your experience with this. I respond to every comment that I get in my comment section below, so please leave me a comment, say hello, let's have a chat, and that's all. So I'm gonna put my face up here to click on if you want to subscribe. I'm gonna put a video here that you can click on if you want to spend more time with me today. And that's everything for me. Thanks so much. See you again soon. Bye.